Yes, welcome to Farm TV Africa. And today in the Live and Impact session, we are going to have a Tenson Nkoma, who is a Macmillan scholar, and he will mainly start by explaining to us mainly on how he thinks agriculture is on his perspective. Tenson, you're welcome.
First of all, thank you so much, Winfred. And to answer your question, my perspective on agriculture, actually, we have grown up to say it's a culture on production of crops and rearing of animals. And this with the purpose of making sure that people's needs, nutritional needs, are met.
Okay, thank you so much. Firstly, we are back again, and Sensen, I would like to ask you this question as we begin. Firstly, what is that background, or what is that thing that influenced you until you decided to study agriculture or to learn more about agriculture? What is that thing which motivated you?
Actually, since I was young, I've been seeing my parents going to the farms with horse and producing maize, which is a staple crop in village. And growing up to the age that I started going to the farm at the age of 7, I have been working hard so much, helping my father and my mother in agriculture and in production of maize and paprika. So, growing up with that experience, have it made me to get motivated that agriculture is the best answer to success in life. And seeing that most of my support, with financial support for my school, has been from the proceeds of agriculture, is something that has been motivating me so much to say that I need to study more and explore more in this field, and also all the problems that I've been facing at throughout my life in agriculture. I want to explore all the solutions that I can, and how people can copy, so that we together we bring up agriculture that is more sustainable and successful.
Okay, thank you so much. So, I think people have got at least that knowledge on why did you decide. I think this also can motivate one person from somewhere, yeah, might be inside Africa, outside Africa, or somewhere else, yeah, learning or understanding what is real this agriculture means to you, and also can mean to him or her. So I would like to ask also this as very important thing, like what are those challenges that you saw, you being a Malawian and have lived in Malawi for so long? You have been in touch with many young people. Like, what are those challenges that you saw in the community and that you really wish to solve, you personally?
Personally, the main problem in agriculture in Malawi is not agriculture itself. Actually, I can confidently say that we don't have any problem in agriculture itself as farming or crops and production. But the main problem that we have is value addition, whereby we produce a lot, but we're not adding a lot of value to what we are producing. So we don't have market for such thing, and we don't realize a lot of profit out of agriculture. So that's the biggest problem that I am exploring a lot of solutions to solve. Also, on the issue of youth involvement in agriculture, most of the youth think that agriculture is only for grown-up people, for parents, for grandparents, something like that. But we need also to change this perspective so that also youths are actively involved in agriculture.
Okay, that's great. So those are just some of the solutions by which you personally have seen, and maybe you can improve it to. You can also teach others, and this has been also a learning situation for other people also to understand. So being a person from Malawi and understanding all these, you have been doing a lot of activities maybe to help people. Can you a bit explain to people maybe who are listening now from different places, like what are those activities you have been trying your level best? You being a student, a scholar at Earth University, what have you been trying to make sure that you can at least start solving as you are going on with some of other issues which are very important for you?
First, being a youth, I want to be like a role model for the fellow youths. So, in that sense, I have been actively involving my fellow youths in Malawi to change their mindset when it comes to agriculture production, so that I have been doing a lot of entrepreneurship trainings so that youth should know value entrepreneurship as well as agriculture and integrate them together. So, like in last year in 2019, I did entrepreneurship training, and this year I've been doing website programming trainings, which can be integrated into communication for agriculture and also entrepreneurship in agriculture, which can bring up a very successful and sustainable agriculture. At a personal level, I'm also doing chicken production, which is also a great example, a living example that youths also can also actively get involved in agriculture, especially in animal production, for my example.
Okay, and I would like you to explain a bit, because our today's session won't be that much long. But I want to explain a bit about your organization by which you are learning, and I'll be showing some of the pictures, and you will be explaining to people so that people maybe who will maybe need to join you, maybe also they can join you, and yeah, you give out details on how that organization has been running throughout Malawi.
That's great. Actually, my organization is called Research Institute and Youth Empowerment, RIE. When I say my organization, I'm a co-founder. Not that I own it, but we came, we mobilized each other as youths in Malawi. We were about 10, and we decided to come up with a solution that will see youths actively involved in entrepreneurship, agriculture, sustainability, and also leadership in their communities, in the country, and the world at large. With that, we thought of many areas that we could have tackled so that the youth, we use the best potential of the youth to achieve our goals. So these areas are agriculture, entrepreneurship, women development, and gender balance. So in entrepreneurship, we found out that most of the youth are not involved in entrepreneurship itself because they feel like entrepreneurship is for people who already have money, so they all are looking for ways of investing the money. But no, we're trying to change the mindset of youth to say you don't need to be at your best to get started, but you have to get started to be at your best. So you don't have that means you don't have to have a lot of money in the world to start business, but start business so that you can have a lot of money in the world that you want. Next is the gender balance and women development. We understand that in Malawi, we have more than 60% of the population which is comprised by women and girls. So we're trying to capitalize on this population to achieve sustainable development, because actually now there is little participation of women and girls in development activities, which is very bad. That is a very sad, and that means that more than half of the population is not taking place in development activities. That's not, of course, by choice, but sometimes because of lack of opportunities available for women and girls. So we're trying to empower the women and girls through entrepreneurship skills and digital technology skills. And on part of digital technology trainings, we're trying to make sure that small scale and medium enterprise ventures learn more of technology and more of digital solutions that they can use to solve a lot of problems that we are facing now. For example, the COVID-19 problem has brought out a lot of problems that require solutions that uh, are driven by technology, because it has brought a lot of restrictions in physical interactions, and the farmers, when they produce a product, even if they can do value addition, the market itself cannot be door to door, but the main market that they can do is the online market. So how do they do? They don't have skills in that. That's why we had to come in to say we need to train the youth and women and rural farmers, especially those who have small scale and medium businesses, to have skills in technology and programming, so that they can at least explore a lot of digital solutions to the problems that COVID-19 has brought.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Tenson, for what you have explained. I think people have got to understand this really. What is it meaning and what do you do? I think you do a lot of things, and I think there's one also. If you had explained to me, if I remember about blood donation, also is some of the activities you did. I think many of the activities also you have been done. You have been influencing many of the youth. So I personally appreciate so much what you're doing, and I think many youth also learn from you. So I would like to ask you, say, if you can explain also some challenges on running this a big organization. Maybe what have been the challenges, and maybe some how you have been solving, but also what are the benefits that you have got from the programs you've been running as an organization.
Actually, there have been a lot of challenges that we have been facing, but the main challenge that I can explain now is the challenge of funding and other resources for running our projects. But we have been trying our best to capitalize on the resources that we have, capitalizing on many ways of how to reach out to the people, because our main goal is to reach out to the people. So how can we reach out to the people? We have been exploring a lot of ways on how to reach out to them. For example, we have been searching where are people mostly found in this period, or where most people found, um, if not physical, online, where are they mostly found? So we found out that most people have WhatsApp, most people have Facebook, and most people use Instagram. We try to follow them there, and most of our trainings we have been doing it online. So having people online, using online way, it has helped us a lot to connect with the people and coordinating a lot of projects with them. And for example, in trainings of entrepreneurship and website development, we have been using the same platforms, and the same platform we've been using for mentorship, whereby we have been doing one-on-one mentorship sessions where we take a person from scratch and go through issues of business registrations and give him a lot of mentorships, uh, guidance, support, and what have you. So the main thing lied in the use of online platforms.
Okay, and what have been the benefits? Maybe if you can explain. And there's a question coming from Africa Startup Academy, by which you will have to answer after some time. So if you can explain also some benefits you have gained also as an organization.
As an organization, okay, the main thing that I always say personally is that the issue of solving community problems, it's not that you have to get direct benefits, like maybe you should have to get money or whatever. No, but sometimes you need to aim at leaving a legacy. If you die tomorrow, or if you die today, what will people remember of you? So of course, some people will not plant a tree, saying that, of course, by the time the tree will be ready to produce its fruits, I will not be there. But that's not how we are supposed to live. You can plant a tree, people will be remembering you. Say, oh, there was Tenson, he planted a tree, and we are now enjoying the fruit now. So the benefits cannot be shown now as to us as organization, but the benefit it to the community, and that's the legacy that we want to leave.
And that is the purpose of Live and Impact session. So there's a question here coming from Africa Startup Academy, and you will see it here. Yeah, it will be there, and you have to answer it. By which it says, if you were, it shows here, it says, if you were the Minister for Agriculture of Malawi, what would you do to attract more youth into agriculture?
The main problem in agriculture in Malawi that I've seen is lack of access to land by the youth. So actually we need to increase access to land for youth. We can be providing loans to the youth so that they have access, or maybe we waive some fees for the youths so that they have access to land. And we can also subside the fees or waive so that youth should have access to land, and that will motivate youth to make a lot of investments in agriculture, because agriculture is relies on land.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much for your answer. And maybe if you have something to say to some of the youth there, or maybe you can add something on what you are doing, what's your like, what are your aims? If maybe some you can explain to people those, if those so that those who can join you can, and yeah, explaining of mainly summarizing of main those important things which you really want people to understand you, and those especially who can follow you. If you can come up with, yeah.
Actually, just like I said, I can summarize in this way to say that living for impacting communities, countries, and the world at large doesn't mean that you have to be a big person with big power and all the money in the world, but the little you can have, the little you see, and the little you can do to solve a small problem or a big one. That little thing, you have to do it now and don't think about tomorrow. But because tomorrow you never know what tomorrow will bring, and actually tomorrow doesn't exist, so do it now. Solve that little problem you have using that little solution, and that will make you great person and you leave a legacy that people will always remember for, and which is very great in the life of a person.
Before you move, there's again another question from Africa Startup Academy wants to know from you. He says you mentioned about entrepreneurship, so please explain more on its importance in agriculture. If maybe there's somebody who just doesn't know, can you relate it between entrepreneurship and agriculture? How does it relate?
As I said also in my the first question you asked me, that the main problem that we are having, like in most of the countries, like Malawi, is not agriculture itself, but value addition. Now that's where entrepreneurship comes in, to say we produce things, now we need to add value and sell them at a certain valuable price. So, which that is very important, and that is what is missing in our communities. And if we do that, people have a lot of entrepreneurship skills. They will do a successful agriculture.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much, brother. I think if you can give also some of your social medias names maybe or contacts, like, so that those people who can be able, they can also follow you there. If you can share about your organization, how can they reach to, yeah, can they get into contact us, but also you yourself personally. Okay.
To reach me and the organization, actually, I will start with the organization. One can say Research Institute and Youth Empowerment on Facebook, and you can also reach out directly to me using LinkedIn at Tenson Birinkenyu F. Nkoma, just like
Okay,
that.
okay, that's great. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for all people who have been with us from the beginning to the end. This was just a little the beginning of Live and Impact session, whereby we'll have many people who are doing different things in agriculture, helping in different ways, so that we see and learn from them. What do they do? How do they do? And what also should we do? So thank you so much for your time, and I wish you also all the best in all that you're doing, and go on working, go on making sure that one day Malawi also becomes the best, one day Africa becomes the best, one day the world also becomes the best. Yeah, because if you help your community, I think you're helping the world at large. So thank you so much, Tenisoni, and I wish you all the best. You are with me, you are best person here also in the issue of broadcasting, Winfred Alfred. Yeah, and I was with Tenson Bilinkinya Nkoma. This name is not that much simple, so I appreciate all of you feel, and you are all welcome for the other session in the other day. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.